Alright guys, back with another video, and this time we're going to do something a little different since I don't have all the cards from the new set, and I wanted to give you guys a video on things I've been thinking about for the upcoming format. Especially since Nationals is coming very soon, and I wanted to give you guys a little insight. I've got a few messages, and I decided to just make a video instead of going through all my thoughts to every single person, keep on trying to tell people what's going on in the upcoming format. But we'll go ahead and start with the things that are changing, and first thing that comes to mind is new Wish Mechanic. This is the new Shinron starter deck leader. If you haven't seen it yet, it's amazing, and it's the best Wish leader so far, in my opinion. And it's so fast that it changes things, and it can play some other like archetypes that were kind of dead or not played as much faster than other decks. You have a few things to take into account for this upcoming format, just because this leader exists, and it can play some archetypes better than their original leaders do. Sort of like Veggies. Veggies were good in Shugesh decks, but now you have the Wish Mechanic with a lot of reborning abilities. So if your opponent doesn't warp your cards, you can just keep reviving them. But it's pretty important to note that a lot of cards nowadays don't warp, since people are trying to worry about sparking. So a lot of things have changed just because of this new mechanic. But I'll go ahead and get into the Sparky Mechanic as well. Sparky Mechanic is pretty good, and this leader right here from the starter deck, he uses Sparky Mechanic and most of the cards for his deck and his leader ability as well. All the cards that have sparking are pretty powerful, so you kind of deters you from playing certain cards like Overrealm. But speaking of, so Fu himself right here is basically super powerful still. Cool, yeah. The Mirror is super powerful, so yes, those cards are awesome. But like, if you were worried about playing like certain defensive cards, like there's defensive negates that require you having a certain amount of cards in your drop area, you might want to stay away from cards like this unless you are being very, very strategic when you play cards like this. But that's a good thing to note about the upcoming format. Blue leaders are still going to be good because of a few cards, like Unyielding, obviously. So this leader and other blue leaders are still going to be powerful. He has the new Union Fusion cards are pretty strong. It's trying to implement a new game, like a new format pretty much in general. But we'll go ahead and get into it. So, Shinron and Gogeta, first leaders from the starter decks. If you guys haven't tried them, please do. They're awesome. If you guys want to see deck profiles with these guys, I will. But a lot of things I'm trying to like keep a little hidden from the the rest of the world, because of because Nationals is right around the corner. I don't want everybody and their mama knowing exactly what my team's playing, but I will give you guys some like basic deck profiles with these cards if you'd like. Next leaders that come to mind are the blue leaders. You have Mill leader Janemba. If you guys haven't got your dash packs, get this guy right here. He's awesome. And Garn, which is still one of the most powerful leaders when he's awakened, because he makes your opponent back a card every turn. And he has that free card on the side as well. But and you get to maintain your life while attacking and getting card advantage, which is pretty awesome. These cards will still be very good. Control leader, or aggro, however you want to play it. Harugan's amazing. But drawing a lot of cards is one of Janemba's strengths. So your opponent's playing like a Wish leader, and they are drawing a lot of cards and they're digging through the deck really quickly. Janemba does stifle those kind of decks because they cannot draw so much, or they have to try to kill them super fast, or they'll deck out and they'll win. If you guys haven't seen my Janemba deck profile, please check that out. To the red leaders, these guys right here are pretty powerful. Pan has lost a little bit of steam because of a lot of cards hinder her playstyle from the next set. From the set 5, sorry. I'll show you a few of them and talk about a few of them in a second. But they hurt specifically the way to get this deck plays with Chain Tag Xeno and combo into play cards and like Topo and stuff like that as well. Cards that come into play your opponent's turn are specifically this card right here. Hurts Pan pretty badly, along with the Black Mass Sand, which I don't have a copy of yet. But those cards are one-cost cards that are splashable, and they hurt Pan a lot. So she will lose a lot of play, in my opinion, in this upcoming format for Nationals. But she's still pretty powerful. Hercule, same boat as these other decks that dig really fast. Janemba does put a pretty big hurting on this kind of deck, and if you can't get rid of Vegeta pretty quick with this, it will slow you down a lot, and you'll probably deck out with Hercule because he draws so many cards. Or you have to be really careful when you're drawing cards with Hercule. Same for Harugan, to be honest. The new Wish leader, the only one that I really think's playable besides the other one, because he can play Bloodlust, is the Frieza. This card's pretty awesome, and it mainly relies around bringing back Frieza from your drop area. So it doesn't play overwhelm cards either, unless you play Demikra, which is a different story. This card right here is one of its main targets, and there's a lot of good targets, to be honest, especially with the new set. If you guys haven't checked that out, a lot of good Frieza cards if you're a Frieza fan. And Universe 7 is still a deck. You still have to be on the lookout for this. It will catch a lot of people on by surprise, but no, this card's still good, and drawing card is still awesome, unless you're playing Janemba. So this deck is still good, even though it can't play Bloodlust. Already talked about this card. Nubu. Dimension Magic. Awesome negate. Changes the game. This is just one of the few Sparky negates. They're all pretty good. And you can play them. And you have to worry about these cards when you come into a new format. If you can't, just make a push because your opponent's tapped out, because they might have one of these. Yeah, and they'll try to untap the 2 energies and then super be defensive. So you might have overcommitted, and then you lose. Zeno. I already spoke about this a little bit. Chantak Zeno is kind of weakened due to Black Mass Sand being very splashable, and most decks will have it between main and side. If you are ballsy enough to play this in your main deck, which is fine, I'll probably side it out going in the game 2 and 3. This is also part of the red decks, I guess. Burst Attack, super good card still. Universe 7, obviously. Hit, pretty good strategy, even though it does not work with the World's Peace. You cannot play it from your drop area and get its effect. Those are the cards you need to worry about. Like cards that don't get effects from being played from your drop area. This one only gets from playing from your hand. The other Wish that brings back 3 Lust. This is a pretty good target. There's a lot of good targets. You need to look into those. There are a lot of good targets to this card, even especially from the new set and older sets. So you have to look into those and try to figure out which ones you want to play in your Shenron decks. And other decks that can play those cards as well. Androids. Big boost. These Daily Defender cards are pretty awesome. This is just a good card to look at for those Daily Defenders. This is probably the best one because you can play it for 2 with the Android 17 leader. But the Super 17 leader is pretty awesome as well. It actually can play cards like this, like the new Unbreakable, which will be played in a lot of decks, especially since it's green. But this card right here is just like Unbreakable, and it will be splashing a lot of decks, but it's also an Android, so it can be played in the Super 17 deck because it can untap energies when it awakens, so be on the lookout for that. Super 17 is pretty awesome, but yeah, she's pretty. This card's pretty strong, just like the other ones are. Krillin's pretty strong. They're all good. They're basically like mini Vegetos. 15k is a big difference with 20k, so Vegeto's still a lot stronger in my opinion for that extra 1 energy. Storm is still very much alive. This is just Goten, but Storm is very strong, and you'll have to be on the lookout for it. Different variants, different leaders, Krillin, Hirudegarn, all types of different Storm leaders are in existence now. Even Gogeta could be even a Storm leader because it would stop negates on the backside. And the Janemba leader, the new one from the main set, I don't have one yet, can make it where they punish them for using negates. So you can play multiple Storm decks with these different cards like this. Nimbus, very important in the next format because it actually ironically stops the Storm deck to an extent. Even though it does cost you 2 cards. This is just a very good out to it, and it helps you get another turn. So be on the lookout for a lot of people trying to splash yellow for this and Bad Ring to stop the Storm decks. The new black cards are very splashable. This is just one. Kami is good for making it where your opponent's scared to make a wide field like veggies. But very splashable cards. But they're not end all be all. So your strategy, if it is hurt by a black card, you just be on the lookout for it in games 2 and 3. If your opponent does not main deck it, like Dende is very good against the Shenron decks because they play objection, and other decks play objection as well. So be on the lookout for Dende, Kami, Toki to get those. Kanoa to stop your Shugesh if you're actually still playing it. But it's very, very, very scary to play cards like those these days when there are these splashable black cards and we played in every side deck. Like most side decks will be 15 black cards for the most part. We got the new Shenron starter deck 4-drop, very, very splashable, very good value every turn that he stays on the field. Remember, it also has a sparking trigger, so if you don't have sparking, you cannot use it. So decks that don't put a lot of cards in drop area do not get to use this ability very quickly unless you're playing a Dragon Ball deck, which obviously will put the Dragon Balls in drop area. So this guy will be live on that deck on turn 4 at the least. He has good abilities, draws 1 card every turn, and untaps 2 energies, plays a 2-drop or less from your drop area, and then you also, what's the other ability? Oh, you choose a leader card or battle card you control and against 5,000 power and critical, which is all good abilities. Even the 5-drop's pretty good too, can help in the game with Triple Strike. Cards to look out for. And I already spoke about Overrealm. Sad to see Overrealm go, and I'm not really sad, to be honest. It makes the games a little more fair and a little less unpredictable what your opponent can and can't do. But some decks will still be playing Demigra, some decks will still be taking in Fu and other good Overrealm cards, and then trying to recoup their drop area if they have to, so their sparking cards work. Since sparking does feel the burst mechanic does feel your drop area, which is another way to look at it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see a deck profile, please comment down below. I'll be getting new cards upon set release on Friday. If you guys are watching it on Friday, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll be making more videos tomorrow. Let me guys know what you want to see. Deuces.